Now, capitalism, it's been with us, for a couple of 100 years right now. Definitely, this is something that how the US market definitely takes on. It has its advantages, and of course, this is something that the West has also given to us. Communism, also another great thing that what Russia has given across to the world, thinks about their people, seeing that, how people is first, and what, you must do to your country, and also what you must do to your people. So, like this, there are a lot of cultures that what we get to learn from. For example, we learn teamwork from Japan. All right, we learn precision from Germany. Definitely, when it comes to the Americans, they'll sell you the moon on a no-moon day. All right. So, just like this, there's a lot that what we can learn from India. What's really unique about India? It's this, spiritualism. Now, it's something really wonderful to note that India at its spiritual height was also contributing to the GDP of the global economy at 33%. This particular Angus Madison's research, he was actually sent here to India to find out, saying that he was told that India contributes to almost say 25% of the world economy, but when actually he came and did his research, he realized that India contributes more than 30%. And we've seen so many researchers coming in and saying that what really makes India so great, what's so different, why are people so happy, how is India able to go forward? It's because of its spiritual roots. So definitely, what is spirituality about, and what are these values that really create a great business enterprise or actually contribute to the economy per se? Let's have a look. Of course, the organization's inspiration, Pujya Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji. One particular quote I felt that what might be relevant to today's topic is that spirituality gives the capitalist the heart to serve and the communist a spirit to innovate. Normally, what happens is in capitalism is that you think about, all right, there are so many opportunities. What can I do next? What can I do next? But this particular aspect of serving back to society somewhere gets lost over there. Definitely in communism, you're really wanting to serve society so much, so it becomes more like a maintenance sort of an operation. So there's lack of innovation. That's where I feel that spirituality can really bring in a different aspect. Now, these three people on the slide, extremely big stalwarts, they might, they're a theory by themselves. I want to tell you all a short story on, all these three people. The first, Jamshedji Tata. When he actually wanted to start off with Tata Steel, so when he went across to the British, at that point in time, the British officer said, what, Indian steel, it will never match British standards. You forget it. So then later, that got Jamshedji thinking. He said, no, I'm going to do something about this. So he went back, he did his research, he flew across to Paris, he stared at the best metallurgy expert of those days, and it still said that, that this metallurgy expert, he said that, hey, Jamshedji just came. I had no idea who this person was. He came and he stood in front of me. He had such a clear stare at me. And then later, I just do not know what happened. I just packed my bags and I came across to India. And then later, when he came across, now we have Jamshedpur over there. Before it was called Sachi. So just this one idea, this one person told Jamshedji that I'm going to eat every pound of steel that what India makes. Realize that India has so much to offer, and this is something that what really changes. So an entrepreneur who believes and who is committed to his cause, and he knows that he believes in himself and he believes in others, really makes such a big difference. And it is with these values that first that you believe in yourself, you believe in the people, and you believe you can actually achieve things, really makes a difference. Of course, Jamlalal Bajaj ji, all of us know Hamara Bajaj. So we already have a belongingness to this particular brand. This is something that all of us have grown up with. And of course, like the trust that what Bajaj ji set up, even till today, served the nation. And Birla ji, it's said that Gandhiji never had to call Birlaji twice for any sort of funding for the freedom movement. Now, these are the sort of people, these are the visionaries that have been here in our country, and with their knowledge, great businesses have been set up. So, definitely, entrepreneurship or building up a business is just not about an idea or something, but it's actually deepening your roots. Deepening your roots in what? In great values, in systems that what you believe in systems that what are good, in ethics that actually define yourself. And of course, when you're deep rooted this way, then later you're able to get across to a greater vision. You're able to actually see that the sky is the limit, to see that how your business can actually thrive. Because when you attend to your people and when your vision is great, there's nothing that what you cannot achieve. I'd like to call this as the ABC of building up a business: awareness. So, if you realize that any entrepreneur or any business that needs to be set up, you need to have this particular awareness within yourself. You need to be aware of what is happening. For example, say you take an aeroplane, all right, you learn how to open up a new business, you want to innovate, you want to get across a great business idea, you want to really do well. So, you're reading a book, but next to you it's Steve Jobs sitting. What would you do? So, if you're aware, you'll actually sit and talk to him. So, this ability of awareness, saying that all right, when can I actually decide, are my decisions correct, are my decisions wrong? Some of us do not even know that. If you realize that most of your HR problems would be that people just get angry, people snap at people, they just have no idea why. Say, arey, no, it happened, I'm sorry, I do not know what to do. So, if you realize that this lack of awareness is like a huge problem, personally as well, and also in an organization, that the organization as a whole, is it aware of what is happening around it? Is it aware as to what competition is doing? Is it aware as to what the trends are? The second, belongingness. Now, it's very, very important that for any organization to grow, whether it's a startup or whether it's an organization that's still there, this element of belongingness really defines whether the company really goes forward or not. Now, why is this? Retrenchment is a huge problem today. Seeing that people just come, go, people are opportunistic, saying that all right, what's it in for me? What's the company investing into me? Is it really doing good? Am I growing here? So, this constant aspect of want to grow, or am I being taken care of, is a huge plus point and minus point that what an organization goes through. And how do you actually attend to these things? This is something that what I'd actually like to share across with you. And of course, the third one, the C, the commitment. That are you committed, saying that all right, are you willing to see it through? Sometimes when people leave the organization, when your really core people leave the organization, you suddenly feel, hey, oh my God, can I really do this or not? That's the time when you're really tested to see that whether you believe in yourself, whether you've really believed in the idea that whatever that you've put across over the last couple of years or decades or months or weeks, whatever, whether you really believe it in or not. So, these are the ABCs as to how we really need to incubate first to see before that we build across a big business. Now, but this is the question, but how? Everybody, we actually saw it even in the panel before, saying that everybody has this problem, but how do you actually deal with this? So, that's when they say that all right, it's something that it comes to you at that point in time, you actually get to know how to deal with it at that point in time. But this how question is something that all organizations, whether it's a business organization or even a person per se, would really want answers to. And that's where India really thought a lot about how to take care of the human mind. And it's when we attribute a little bit of thought and see that how we can actually attend to the human mind. We see that as individuals and also as an organization, the building blocks are set across in a lot more organized and relaxed manner. Otherwise, it's very haphazard. You just don't get to make decisions. Can you make a decision in a stressed mind? Can you make an effective decision in a stressed mind? Certainly not. Can you attend to some people nicely with a stressed mind? Not at all. Similarly with a stressed body. So what is the solution? How do we deal this how factor? Let's just see. Can you turn up the volume, please? Is the volume up now? Would it be there now? Not yet. Yeah, thank you.
A long time ago, a really long time ago, not that long ago, we don't know when exactly, but there lived some of the world's first scientists. These weren't your typical scientists. They began by letting their minds get very still, and in this quiet space, they were able to discover amazing things and uncover incredible secrets about the human body, mind, and consciousness. They discovered things like the way you breathe affects the way you feel, and what you eat affects how you think. They noticed to function well, the mind and memory need rest, and that meditation is the deepest rest of all, giving you incredible amounts of energy. They also discovered that experiences can cloud our vision by getting stuck in our minds. Meditation can clear these out, so we hear, see, and feel more clearly. These scientists, or seers, would compare notes and then share their knowledge with the community. As you know, in this time, people didn't have Twitter, Facebook, or phones, so information spread incredibly slow from one person to another and from group to group. Over time, what the seers had learned got lost and was misunderstood, until those who had been in the deepest of meditations were able to rediscover its secrets and restore it. Meditation is universal, just like you don't have to be Italian to eat pasta. Fast forward to the modern day. People that were searching for a deeper meaning to life traveled the globe and learned that some of the greatest seers lived in India. The seekers listened, asked questions, and found something important. In doing so, they began to share it. What if everyone could have a more peaceful and clear mind? Could we study less and get better grades? What about run faster, be smarter, better, stronger, wiser? We are all connected. We can create a better world, and it starts with something as simple as closing your eyes, meditating, and feeling a deeper connection with yourself. When you feel good, you treat others around you better, and the cycle continues. Who would have thought that the work of ancient scientists would have the power to transform our world today? To really open your eyes, sometimes you have to close them.
All right. So yes, this wonderful concept of meditation, all right? So normally, if you look at any organization, when they feel that they're really not growing, it would either be that, their decision making is not really good, creativity is really suffering, there's a lot of stress in the organization, people start to react and not act on situations. Definitely there would be some fears, whether it's mental or really from the market, saying that they're not confident, they're not aware, and of course not very productive. And all this is something that's very personal to every individual. So when an individual really performs better, the organization performs better too. So just like this, in ancient India, people really realized that by attending to a person, you'll be able to attend to an organization as well as to the economy. How is this? If you realize in today's world, any employee or any organization would look at this, all right, you have an employee, the employee comes across and says that, okay, how am I going to grow in this organization? Now, that's their primary concern. Am I going to grow along with your organization, or am I going to be stagnant? Now, there's a lot less that what you as an organization can invest into them is in terms of time or energy. But when you actually give them something that's intangible, that really improves them as a person, the sort of belongingness and affinity that the person would have with your own organization for having given that is something a lot much more. For example, if you look at it, for our freedom struggle, people did not need to have motivational camps month on month, week on week, or year on year. All right, people were already inspired. So this seed of inspiration comes when a person is really calm from within, and this is something that any organization, whether it's an entrepreneur or whether it's a large conglomerate, really requires for any business to do good. Of course, India always gives something great to the world. We've given them zero, we've given them a whole lot of things, great dance. Of course, we were the first to give them the IT.com as well, but something a little bit different, that inner transformation dot clarity of mind. When there's inner transformation, when there's clarity of mind, your perception, observation, and expression really blossoms. Normally, whether it's in an organization or individually, your problems happen when your perception, observation, or expression is not up to the mark. So by attending to ourselves, a lot of this can actually be taken care of. Now, let me tell you a little bit as to how all these things come into the brand of Shri Shri Tattva. Our mission has been that we bring across health and wellness products to every household. Now, we are an omni-channel trade, and we are across 6 continents right now in many countries, which I'll tell you. Of course, we have a 350 product portfolio. We've spread across 33 countries, and right now 1,500 employees, and of course, just 4 facilities that manufacture only state-of-the-art medicines. We also have our other OEMs, but those run into many. So these are our 4 major things, and this year perhaps will be the first Ayurveda facility to also get the PICS GMP for what we've applied for. So the SOPs, everything are being seen by the relevant authorities right now. So if we actually get this across, it would mean that Ayurveda is recognized as a system of medicine by a lot more countries. At present, our medicines are recognized as a herbaceutical by the Ministry of Health in Oman. We are also registered as herbaceuticals in Canada as well. So apart from this, we also export to 33 countries, and it goes on. So basically, to give you the pie as to in what all that we are right now, as what I told you, we are an omni-channel trade. We're there in the traditional trade, we're there in modern trade, and as well as the e-commerce space. We have wellness centers and hospitals. So our wellness centers in Bangalore and also in the US, we've been judged as the best wellness center to be, and also for therapy. We've been saying that we would want to be the most visited spa for Ayurveda therapy per se. And of course, we have our own doctors and our own college. So we train doctors who come across from other streams as well, and we also see that we also have our own Ayurveda college from which we churn Ayurveda doctors and also give them employment. Now, research and development is something that what is very key to any industry. So we do our own research and development. We ensure that we come out with quality products. Every product is given utmost importance. We take our allergens extremely seriously. We take customer feedback in terms of what they would want and what they would see in a product very seriously. So that's why we come out with responsible products. None of our products contain parabens. Alright, parabens are cheap preservative that's known to be carcinogenic. We also see that we do not use things like lactose or talc as well in our products, where people are also lactose intolerant. Lactose intolerance actually growing in the world right now, but not as much so in India yet. But of course, we do not use these other free-flowing agents like talc, this, that, etc., that are not good for the body as well. Of course, we have state-of-the-art manufacturing units, which we are extremely proud of. This one particular product that what I would like to take on and show you, Ojis Vita. There's a story behind this, that normally things that are healthy are not tasty, and things that are tasty often are not very healthy. So, we actually joke about this back home, saying that this is a love marriage between good taste and good health. All right. So, how is this? We have the essence of 7 power herbs in Ojis Vita, and we also have the goodness of taste. This one particular product, which PV Sindhu and also Gopi Chand endorse, is a no added sugar variant. So, it is also extremely healthy, but we have also seen that we keep the taste factor also in it. So, why have I taken across this particular product to showcase to you here right now is because this shows that you are able to take the best of what tradition has, and you also have taken the best of what technology can give you. So, you get in today's world, you can take the essence of all these herbs and also make it into a palatable format that what today's market or people really require. One more, this one particular product is one of our star-studded medicines. It's for immunity building. So, the concept behind this was that Gurudev actually mentioned across to our research and development people, saying that if one drop of poison can kill an entire human body, then a drop of nectar could also have a profound impact. And it is with this particular concept that we researched Shakti drops and come out with it. So, normally this product you take a full glass of water and put 5 drops in it and drink. And we have a lot of research done on this as well, saying that how it helps building immunity. And also we are seeing that this one particular product is also showing promise on certain cancer cell lines, for which we are also doing research as well. So, I will be able to share that with you once the research is done. Of course, we also have an entire range of healthcare, personal care and food as well. This is something that what we have recently got across since the last 1.5 years and extremely growing, very, very aggressively growing. But one thing that what we are very clear is that we keep quality to be at the peak, and it is most important. So, we do not launch any product until and unless that we see that we are happy with the quality that what we are actually giving. Of course, our trade channels, we have 2,500 plus franchisee. We are spread across all the modern trade. We are there in all the main e-commerce portals apart from ours as well. We do about 12,000 plus lifestyle camps throughout the year. Now, this year it will be all the more. As what I mentioned to you that in India, it has always been about growing the community, growing the economy. So, it is all the more important that when you start off on an entrepreneurial fashion, or when you start off something, or when you are actually doing some business, you really need to have something that is just bigger than the business itself. If your goal is only to make money, then later, after a particular point, you will see that you are really not satisfied. It becomes a lot more mundane. But when you actually work for a bigger cause, and when you actually support a bigger cause, things really change a lot. At Sri Sri Tattva, we support the Art of Living initiatives. So, when we support them, this is what happens. The Art of Living has rejuvenated 30 rivers that's been in drought prone in Maharashtra, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, 425 free schools across, giving education to more than 53,000 students. And the beauty is that almost 90 to 95% of them are first generation learners. And what's really wonderful is that the first woman metro train driver in Bangalore was from the school over here. So, when you actually give whether it's rural India or urban India an avenue with education, you see that whether it's boy or girl, a lot of change can happen. And of course, with regards to planting 55 million trees, trained 16,000 unemployed youth in about 23 Shri Shri Kaushal Vikas Kendras, 2,300 prisoners. Now, training prisoners in making something also ensures that you can rehabilitate them. Now, prisoners at some point in time, it's been the circumstance or whatever that they've done, they've been a victim of that. But then later to give them another new hope inside the prison to see that how they can do better also is something that what we do. So, we actually take back bags, a whole lot of things that whatever that they do across there in the prison. Of course, 1,300 militants have been reformed, and we've actually ensured that through the Boon project, we give about 57,000 individuals were given drinking water by setting up 9 community water filters, making 78 bore wells. So, these are actually just a gist of what I felt that what I could cover in the span of 15-20 minutes to actually show you the sort of service projects that what the Art of Living also does. Why is this so important? It's because Sri Sri Tattva as an organization supports these initiatives through its proceeds. So, there is something greater. So, when people join your organization, they know that they are just not joining an organization that is making money and that is actually being happy by themselves. When they are actually seeing that you are driven with a cause, saying that all right, you are doing something greater for society and you are making some actual deliverable promises to people, things really change. And that is really important for businesses to set up businesses that build up communities. And India per se has been there, done that, and is still doing it. And this is something that all of us really need to be proud about. I have a small video that I would like to showcase to you to show you that one of the projects that what I told you about the school that what we support. So, I think that this would be of relevance to all of you as well, and see whether you would also like to support a project like this going forward. That was it. Thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you. Yeah, I'm fine.
That's right. The floor is open for questions. I believe the gentleman there, along with Ritu, I think you have questions as well. So.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Yeah, namaste.
I am a big time supporter of Ayurveda, and one of my project also deals in research-driven Ayurvedic products.
Fantastic.
So, I feel or I see a lots of challenges in terms of getting the right material and then checking them in HPTLC and other stuff, and then only going for formulation. So, how do you address this? And second thing, many of our Ayurvedic medications actually, like you were also hinting, could be cytotoxic in nature. So, the relevance of preclinical and clinical trials before we promote it to the medical fraternity, to my understanding, is an important aspect of this. So, how are you taking care of these two aspects, sir?
Okay. First, your first question with regards to raw material, right? Raw material, this is not the only challenge that what you are facing, it's the industry per se. So, which is why like we've also sent across some concept papers even to the government to ensure that we do something a little bit different to ensure that herbs are available, because at the rate at which that how quality herbs really are required. So, by 2022 or 23, you might really start seeing a lot of decline of all these herbs being actually available. So, from Sri Sri Tattva's point of view, we actually incubate a lot of farmers all around the country. So, we have a buyback. So, what we do is that we actually go to the farmer, we teach them how to farm, we teach them zero budget farming, they want to become organic, we teach them organic farming. One of our sister organizations are also an organic certifying agency. So, they actually help them certify their produce as organic in nature per se. So, then when you actually, so the problem is a lot more root. So, it is not something that we as industry can do, we need to really get across to the farmers, and that is something that what we have really started. We are already working with almost about 5 to 6 lakh farmers when it comes to herbs per se. We are doing a lot more produce with, with regards to rice, dal, this, that, with, a lot more farmers, perhaps even more than 10 to 15 lakh of them. But with regards to herbs, we have already started working with these many, because it is important that herbs are also, climate driven, they are also place driven. It is important that you also test the soil. So, sometimes with regards to your second question, the heavy metals and aflatoxin test reports that actually come across like, a little higher. This is something that what we need to ensure that the farmer really needs to take into account, because more pesticides he puts, more metals he puts across over there really disturbs the soil, and definitely pollution. It is important that, where the soil is, you do not allow too much of vehicles coming back and forth. Through fumes, it settles down onto the soil, and heavy metals also come across from there, especially lead. All right. So, when it comes to testing, definitely there are two aspects. One is that you have your classical products, you have your proprietary formulations. Classical products are something that is already established in your Ayurveda pharmacopoeia, which you have right now, and your proprietary formulations, when you come across, definitely we as an organization ensure that we take it across to clinical tests before we launch it into the market. And today, as per where we stand, it is a norm, it is a requirement, and any company needs to do that. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, let's take another question.
Liked your talk, and it was kind of a social entrepreneurship which you are getting into, if what I could understand. But you see, many of the whether people are from some business background or non-business background, they are building up organizations which are not-for-profit organizations, right? And
sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
They are building some organizations which are non-profit organizations to help the society and community. But given the brand image of Guruji and people who come from that genre, they are not from business communities, and they are they have really done good work in the society. So then you are believing in entrepreneurship and for-profit organizations. So what is that mental transformation which helps you to get into that easily? Whereas I have seen people talking here from business families, okay, now we are going for not-for-profit and we want to do something for the society.
Oh, so, yeah. Fantastic question. See, this is one particular thing that what I'd like to put across to everybody here is that doing business is not a bad thing. All right. So, over the last couple of years, what I've really seen is that if you actually put across a tag as a business to something that you're doing good, it's like you're doing, it's like some nikamma, it's like, like, hey, what are you doing? Now, for any model to actually sustain, you need to have a business model, all right. So, for example, so that's why, so when we go and educate people, all right, definitely go and do it on a non-profit or what should I say, on an NGO basis. But then later, once after I educate you, saying that, hey, go across organic, go natural, don't do this, don't put this bad fertilizer, do not do this. You say, okay, fine, I've done all this, now who's going to buy it? All right. So, that's when you have an avenue, when you have the relevant bandwidth to actually take that on and actually give back to society, why not? Today, it's alarming. 75 to 76% of India's produce goes waste. Why? Because we do not have a cold storage chain. If we just have a cold storage chain, we won't go hungry. So, definitely, of course, while I say, so that's why if you see that the Art of Living initiatives are very clear that the non-profit is for non-profit, the for-profit is for-profit. So, you keep it clear, you keep your communication clear. So, when I talk to you right now, I am from the for-profit organization. So, I am very clear. So, when I come across and buy material from you, I will definitely buy it from you, but then later the actual aim of it is to do something good again. So, my aim is not just to make money, but I make money so that I give it back to society as well. And this is something that we are doing. So, for example, the foundation is in about 156 countries, all right. And when so many countries actually come and take you on an open arm, there are so many wonderful things that have happened. So, I would actually say that definitely if you can come across with a business model with something, why not? Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we still have room for another question. Yes, sir.
Hi, good evening. I'm Vasant actually. I'm from Bangalore. And we see a lot of products in market also like from Patanjali also on similar lines. So how do you put your product better than the Patanjali product?
So this is a very easy question. If you ask me, I'll definitely say that my products are the best. But definitely the way that how when we come across with new products, we do our market research, we see that what is required. We also look at the projects that what we've taken across. We've seen that what are the things that are required in markets. So, we actually see that it's not only only customer driven, we also see that how we can fix the customer and also the farmer parity both. All right. So, something that what the customer wants and what the farmer has, we try to see that how we connect them both as well. So, definitely it's a mix of both. It's also market driven, but we also see that how we could support our projects as well.
And one more thing actually, you are doing a lot of community services also. You are involved in the afforestation programs, regenerating rivers also. Around 55 rivers you are regenerated. So I just want to know more about the regeneration of the lake, renovation of the lakes in the Bangalore actually. Whether you have given some kind of contribution for renovation of lake in Bangalore.
Yeah. So what I'll do is that with regards to the details of these things, you're more than happy to go onto the website artofliving.org. and you'll get all the details over there. But per se, we've seen that we've revived dry rivers. And also recently, we've seen that for one more river rejuvenation in Karnataka, we've seen that we've also tied up with the government also. It's come across in the paper, I think about 2 days back. So, we're more than happy to go and see on the website. So, it's very clear. So, whatever the organization does comes online. And that's really so beautiful with regards to technology, that it connects people so quickly.
All right then, so with that, we'll call it a wrap to the session as well. Can we have a huge round of applause to thank our speaker, Mr. Arvind Bachasvi. I'm going to invite Ms. Ritu Maria to please come on the stage, to also please honor Mr. Arvind Bachasvi.
Always a pleasure, Rituji. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No, thank you, Rituji. My pleasure. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rituji. Thank you.
Thank you once again, sir. Well, we're about to march ahead to our next session, but before we do that, I think it's also time to understand that all of us could come together, the entire sessions could come together thanks to our title partner, businessx.com as well. So we have a video to play. Let's take a look.
Every business aspires global expansion. Some have abundant capital, but not a right project to invest, and somewhere a promising startup is struggling without the cash. Just like a seed needs sufficient water and light to nurture,